Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's Mr. Thayer. Welcome to the final review video. Previously, we reviewed problems like 15 through 18, where you had to solve by substitution, and problems like 19 to 22 on homework 51, where you had to solve by elimination. So now here's an example, number 5, where you don't have any practice on this, so pay special close attention to this example. Without solving the system, without graphing it, we want to solve or figure out how many solutions there will be. So step 1 is to get both equations in slope-intercept form. Well, this one is already in slope-intercept form. Step 2 will be to compare their slopes and compare their y-intercepts. So I'm going to put compare M for slope and B for y-intercept. So let's work on getting this equation right here to slope-intercept form. What that means is getting y alone. So I'm going to show you a trick to get y alone simply by moving y to the other side. We rarely do this, but in this occasion, there's nothing on the other side, so I'm going to add y to both sides. And now y is the only thing on that side, and 2x minus 1 is what's left. So you can flip this around and write it as 2x minus 1 is equal to y. And now we're ready to compare these two equations. So as you look closely, they have the exact same slope and the exact same y-intercept. So we have 3 choices to choose from to figure out how many solutions this system has. There's one solution if they have different slopes or different m values. There's no solutions if they have the same slope but different y-intercepts. And finally, there's infinitely many solutions if they're the exact same equation. And here you can see that these are the exact same equation. So our answer to how many solutions would this system have without solving it is infinitely many solutions. And that's what you would box for your final answer because they're the same. Second equation was just in disguise. Let's go take a look at our final example. And this final example is a story problem, which will help you figure out how to model 23, 24, and 25 in homework 51. The very first thing we do in story problems, other than reading the problem, is then defining our variables. So here, defining your variables is the first move. It's typically the last sentence, what they're asking you to find. Find the price of an adult ticket. So we'll call X the price of adult ticket. And Y will be the price of student ticket. Now let's go back and read this system again. Read this story. Remember, as you're reading, you're on the lookout for maybe an equation that could be written in standard form or an equation that could be written in slope-intercept form. But this one's pretty common, so let's be on the lookout for that. Carlos is selling tickets to a play. On the first day, ticket sales sold 13 adult tickets, 14 student tickets, totaling 252. So there's adult tickets. Remember, that's the X variable. And usually means plus, and there's student tickets, that's the Y variable. And total usually means equals. So I think we're going to be in for a standard form equation like 13x plus 14y equals 252. Let's read the next sentence. $94 for selling 6 adult tickets and 2 student tickets. So that's right. The second sentence tells us there's a total of 94. And again, it's a standard form, 6x and 2y. So there's our system. And standard form equations are best solved using elimination. So if we want to eliminate, we got to get either the x's the opposite or the y's. I want to make these the opposite. 2 and 14 will meet up at 14. So I want to make this a negative 14 on the bottom. So I'm going to multiply by negative 7. Because I know negative 7 times 2 is negative 14. So while the top equation remained the same, I'm just going to copy it down. the bottom equation changes to negative 42x, negative 14y, and I'm going to pause for a moment to calculate negative 7 times 94. All right, and negative 7 times 94 is negative 658. Draw your big equals to bar and your big plus sign. It's time to add and eliminate. Adding our first two x values, we'll get a negative 29x. These will eliminate. And adding 252 to negative 658 gives us negative 406. So this is what we're focused on solving now. Divide by negative 29, and you've got the value of x is equal to 14. Or it's $14 for an adult ticket. Let's go figure out the cost of student tickets. Let's go find what y is. Y can be found by taking any one of the two original equations. So I'll take that top original equation. And instead of writing x, I'll write 14. And we'll solve it for the y variable. 13 times 14 is 182. And I'll solve this multi-step equation for y. Take away 182. So 252, take away 182 is 70. So 14y equals 70. Finally, divide by 14. Remember, you can always pause this video, go back, rewind, see how we did something, or try it yourself and check your solution. Okay, it looks like we got our solution of 14, 5. And in a sentence, that means adult tickets are $14. Student tickets are $5. Don't forget, if you have time, it's a good idea to check your solution by plugging in 14 for x and 5 for y in each of the original equations. So to recap, story problems tend to be the problems that scare most of the students right away, right? Because they're bigger problems, they involve more steps. So here's the recap to all story problems. Read the problem, and then number 1, define your variables. Usually it's the last sentence or the question being asked to find. 2, use your highlighter to highlight important parts and set up your system. Usually standard form is pretty popular, but don't count out slope-intercept form. 3, pick a method to solve your system. Graphing, substitution, or elimination, pick the method that fits best. Check out 25, 24, and 23 for similar problems to this. Hope this helps. Have a great day.